Hey guys, it's Kevin Anderson for the original Season 2, Episode 17, Exquiste Corpse, and as usual, amazing episode, and just, we have 4 episodes left, and I can't believe we have 4 episodes left, but really, this episode, so much happened in this episode, and I loved it. I mean, there were so many big reveals in this episode, and let's just get into it because it was amazing, and there's a lot to talk about. So, we actually start off with this really weird scene with Rebekah. There are lights flickering, and we don't know where she is. I mean, I didn't really know what was going on here, and it shows Rebekah, she's running from Eva, and basically Elijah and Gia, meanwhile, are in passionate heat. They're having sex, and Eva's taking control from Rebekah, wounding Marcel and finding her way to Baby Hope. And just then, Hayley walks in on Eva, standing over Hope, and tries to save her, but she's thrown back, and Klaus comes in and also suffers. However, they manage to scare Eva away, keeping Hope safe, and Klaus and Marcel are working up their plan that includes everybody in their disposal, and that team proposes to get Rebekah out of Eva's body and into her old one. Which, I mean, that really is what they want to do, is they want to get her out of Eva's body, because Eva, of course, is taking over Rebekah, and Rebekah's not, who she usually is, and they just want to get Rebekah back to normal. That's really what they want to do there. So, in a very awkward moment, we see Hayley, Elijah, and Gia. They're staying alone in a room. It's really awkward because she had no idea that Elijah and Gia were together. And Gia leaves to bring Josephine, and Hayley reveals an extremely jealous. You can tell that Hayley's very jealous. And I find it really interesting that Hayley's jealous after her and Jackson got married. I mean, I just find that really interesting. So before Elijah can fully address it, Gia and Josephine return, and Elijah says that Hayley is family, which, yes, she is. She really is part of their family. And Klaus tells Freya to make with her spells and enchantments and put his sister back in her body, which you think she would do. I mean, she's a witch. She should be able to do that, but Freya says it's not that simple, to which Klaus becomes angry and threatening. I mean, he really, again, he still doesn't fully trust Freya. He doesn't know if he should trust her. And I can understand why. I mean, her saying that's very sketchy, definitely, and her refusing to do that, it just doesn't really make sense. So, Klaus ends up capturing Freya and tells her he knows someone who can help her with the spell, and when he said, I'm like, I don't know who he's going to, but I thought that was really interesting, and then we see Vincent meets Marcel at a bar, and the two take a drink during the day while Vincent explains that he's trying to avoid the vampires and witches of the quarter, and Marcel tells Vincent that he came in because he's the only person who knows Eva inside out, because, Vincent and Eva, of course, were married, and Vincent knows her really well, so Vincent and Josephine both agree that they all need to let the witches put Eva's body down because the best thing to do is to defeat Eva, and they say once Eva's taken over it is beyond their control, and Eva was practicing wild magic that caused her, and I thought this was really interesting when we found this out. We actually find out what Eva wants to do. She basically was practicing this wild magic, and that caused her to basically capture young children who were witch prodigies, and Vincent was the one who led the original team to find Eva the first time, and it's revealed that Eve is trying to complete the ceremony where she would need 9 powerful children. That is why she captured Davina, and that's why she is after Hope. So, and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Hope's a witch, Davina's a witch. It totally makes sense why she wants to do that. So, it honestly that was a really awesome reveal when we found that out, because I wanted to know more of what Eva was doing, and just finding that out I thought was really interesting. Now Josephine says she will not extend Rebekah's 24 hours, even if she means she will die along with Eva. She's not going to let her, she's not going to let Eva stay in her for 24 hours. She's going to do something about it. So Freya's not happy that she was shackled by Klaus, who brings her to their mother that is alive and kicking, and Freya is extremely annoyed that Klaus trusts his mother, because she did not know that Esther was alive, and basically she's really pissed that Klaus trusts Esther. I mean, it's understandable why, now that she's a vampire, but he assures her that due to his compulsion and control, they will also be able to extract anything they need, and Eve is tending to her wounds, but is captured by Marcel and shackled with help from Vincent, and she reveals that she actually captured Davina, sending Marcel into a huge rage, because obviously Davina's like, the biggest part, one of the biggest parts of his life, and he really cares about her, so Vincent says torture will not help, and he says he will talk to her later. So Josephine tells Elijah that she grows tired of granting him more time, and he walks out in a threatening manner, and the witchy leader tells everyone, including Hayley, there's a storm coming, and a blackness that should terrify them. It's safe to assume that Dahlia is the blackness they're referring to, which, I mean, that makes sense, definitely. I mean, Dahlia obviously is coming after them, that makes sense. So while Vincent's trying to get through to Eva, they argue and bicker back and forth, and Eva reveals that all the children that she has captured are still alive. And so I was just thinking, are we possibly going to meet the other seven? Because, I mean, we already know Hope and Davina are two of them, and is she going to, who are the other seven children? And Eva reveals that all the children, basically, she needs to channel them, and none of them they need to actually die. So I thought that was really interesting when we found that out. And Klaus and Freya try to extract the spell needed to put Rebekah back into her original body, and Klaus compels his mother to give him the spell, and it looks as if she has no choice, which she really doesn't. I mean, she's being threatened by this, and now that she is, now basically, more, still, now that she's basically mortal now, I thought it was really interesting he just let her, that he just compelled her and she let him do that. Because she really has no power over him anymore, and I like seeing that basically Esther has no power over him anymore. So Eva tries to get into Vincent's head about the Michelson family and why she wanted to gain the power to finish them off, and she says she just needs the power and the kids will be free to go once it's all said and done. So Vincent is now on his wife's side and attacks Marcel before the two of them leave captivity together and search for the last child. And I thought that was really interesting. He actually got on his wife's side. I mean, after all this time, you thought he would be on Marcel's side, but he actually got on Eva's side. And I have to admit, I mean, she is making some good points here. I can understand why, but she's only doing this to put Vincent on her side. So I'm pretty much calling bullshit on everything she said to him so far. So Marcel returns to the courtyard, reveals all the information he's learned. Elijah orders them to fortify the courtyard for Hope's protection, because that's the best thing to do. And when Hayley says that she will take out Eva, Elijah says he will not give up on his sister. And Vincent and Eva pay Josephine a visit, and Josephine tries to get Vincent to see things the right way. However, he is given into Eva, and the two of them take on a threatening notion against Josephine, while Klaus, Freya, and Esther are having a family meeting. They're unaware of the new events that have taken place, and Esther tries to talk Klaus out of listening to Freya. However, all he wants is a spell so they can be on their way and basically get, Rebekah to her real body. And Vincent and Eva bring Josephine to her collection, but she reveals that she lied when she said that they will survive. They're not going to survive, and I knew that Eva lied about that. When we found out that she, when Vincent got on our side, I'm like, there's no way she's telling the truth. She told it's basic, because, I mean, we had no idea who the other seven children were. Now that we know that she lied, I knew that they are not going to survive, and Vincent grabs a pike, smacks her in the back of the heading before she can link Josephine, and that was just so badass right there. Who would have thought that regular Vincent was just so badass? It was awesome to see, and I just thought that was awesome. So Marcel receives a call from Vincent who says that he was trying to reveal more in his acts, and the biggest problem is the children, and Josephine are linked, basically the children and Josephine are linked to Eva, and they will need someone with an immense amount of power to unlink them. And Freya says that she needs to draw Klaus's power to complete the spell, and his sister needs, and the prices that Esther warned Klaus about is revealed. And Elijah comes in and volunteers to be the anchor in Klaus's place, and basically while they go back and forth, Freya fixes her power, knocks Klaus out while leaving with Elijah to complete the spell. So basically, she obviously does not want to listen to Klaus. She's tired of him telling her what to do. She's going to do this her own way. And I'm like, I don't really know if this is going to work. Because, I mean, how do we know we can fully trust Freya? We're still trying to figure out if we can trust Freya here. I mean, we are as lost as Klaus is with trusting Freya. We're not really sure if we should. And now she's not Klaus, so I'm like, I don't really know if I can trust her. So Hayley tries to basically tries to calm down while Gia and her have a chat about the plan, and Hayley asks why Gia is giving so much to protect her, and Gia reveals that she's not blind. She knows that Elijah was suffering over the loss of Hayley and being the shoulder that everyone leans on, and I thought that was really good that she told her the truth, and I like the bonding between these two. I kind of feel like they're going to bond more now that Hayley knows. I mean, Gia's doing what Hayley would want Elijah to have, She's giving Elijah the love that he wants. It's not an act of jealousy, and I think that Hayley should be happy for them. I mean, she is with Jackson now, so she can't just go back to Elijah. It's basically what Elijah said to her, that she had her chance with him. She had her chance. She doesn't have her chance anymore, and she is with Jackson now. And I love Jackson and Hayley together, and I really like Elijah and Gia together. Gia is there for Elijah, he's there for her. I don't really see a problem with them. I like them together overall, and I don't see anything going wrong. I don't really see, them, I don't really see anything bad going on with them together. I can understand if Hayley doesn't want them together, but here's the thing. You are with Jackson now, so you can't just, shut down them being together. You can't do that now. And you had your chance with Elijah. You need to understand that. So basically, Freya, Marcel, and Vincent prepare to go inside Eva's mind to bring Rebekah back, and basically now we realize what that first scene was. This was Eva's mind. Eva's mind is fucked up. Flickering lights, it looks like a torture chamber, and basically Elijah gracefully volunteers, and Freya begins to trying to channel his power and to send Marcel and Vincent into Eva's mind. Vincent and Marcel are in Eva's mind, and when Marcel hears the young Rebekah screaming, he takes off, leaving Vincent in the weapon, and it just shows how protective he is of Rebekah, how much he loves her, and I love seeing this. So, Klaus then wakes up to learn that his brother and sister have already left to try to save Rebekah, and he's pretty pissed at them. I mean, he wanted to, for once there was a plan that Klaus was not a part of, which, that never happens. There's never a plan that Klaus is not involved in. I mean, this all happened without Klaus's consent, and Klaus is understandably pretty upset at them. So Klaus tells Esther that he prefers he and his siblings the way that they, and when she tries to, the way that he wants it, and when she tries to appeal his emotions, he leaves her in the darkness once more, and Marcel manages to locate Rebekah, but Eva approaches at the same time, and Eva begins an onslaught onto Marcel after he urged Rebekah to run, and it doesn't look good for Marcel at all. In fact, it really looked like this wasn't going to work. It looked like this was going to end up terribly for them. And basically, they're struggling inside Eva's body, and Vincent's finding her as she tortures Marcel, and she's not happy with Vincent for fooling her. And when she approaches him, he tries to stop her. However, she fights back, and Freya begins to lose control. And Klaus steps in as Freya receives the added power that Vincent and Marcel will need to take Eva out. And Rebekah delivers the blowout that was needed to take control over Eva's body. However, it may have come at the cost of Vincent, and Davina is back to herself. She's back to normal. She's there now, which I thought was great to see. And Vincent's now awake, and basically Rebekah wakes up in Eva's body, and it looks like it actually worked. The whole Eva plot is done, and I thought that was really surprising that we ended the Eva arc in this episode. I thought this was going to go on for the rest of the season, but no, it ended in this episode, and I can understand why. We need to make the Dahlia plot more of the main plot, and especially after the reveal in this episode, definitely we need to make Dahlia the main focus. So after the small victory, Rebekah stares into the body that was hers in a portrait, and you're thinking she's going to go back to her original body. I thought that's what they were going to do here. But Klaus walks in and tells her to get ready to go back into her body, and Rebekah said that she doesn't want to leave her body. She likes her as she is because it's all linked, and I like what she says, it's linked to all the children. She couldn't let them die. It really just shows how compassionate Rebekah is and how much she cares about people. She doesn't want to let these children die because she is a symbol of those children that died, and if she left this body, then basically all those children will be dead, and she doesn't want that to happen. So it's also important because they need the witches on their side when Dahlia comes, which is true. The witches are, as I said before, the witches are the only thing that can defeat Dahlia, and the only way they can defeat Dahlia is for Freya and Davina to team up. That's the only way. So, and Rebekah also, they need to rally the witches and work with them, and Rebekah tells Klaus that they need to let Freya in and be a family united against the dark threat coming, and even Davina. They need Davina because, even though Klaus doesn't like her, they need her on their side as well and not against them, which is true. Davina, I think, is on their side. I think she'd be open to it, but you know that Klaus doesn't like her, and you know her hatred against Klaus, so when she said them, I don't know if Davina would be as willing. It seemed like Freya would be willing, but I don't know if Davina would be nearly as willing as Rebekah thinks she will be. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So she thanks Klaus for saving her, and basically Rebekah's nearing the end of the episode where Josephine welcomes Freya into the Witches' Society, and which I thought was great to see. Klaus is meeting with Freya and tells her he sees her for what she really is, and Freya retorts with a threatening tone of her own, saying that she only has so much patience before she wears tired of his resistance, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So there I'm like, okay, I don't really trust her now, and especially at the end of this episode, I don't trust her now. Freya visits her real mother, telling her that she was wrong about what she saw in her. She has nothing but dark feelings for Dahlia, who took everything from her, and Freya reveals to Esther that she and Klaus will never be allies. She will turn everyone against Klaus one by one and assures Esther that she won't be around to see it before killing her, and Esther is dead. So that's how powerful Freya is. She killed Esther. Esther's dead now, and I have no idea what's going to happen now. Holy shit, so much just turned around. So Freya definitely is against Klaus. Is she against Elijah and all of them? I don't know. I think she's going to try to convince all of them to turn against Klaus, which I don't think they do. I don't know if Marcel and Elijah, and Davina definitely, she would turn against Klaus in a second, but Marcel and Elijah, Rebekah, would they really turn against their own brother? They're so close with him, he's been so nice to them and everything. I mean, he's pretty power hungry. I will definitely say that Klaus is really power hungry, but will they really turn against their brother? I don't really know what's going to happen there. And now that Freya was accepted into the Witches Society, should we really trust her? Should they really trust Freya? Is she really as trustworthy as she seems? I don't know, but Dahlia is coming next episode. They said next episode that she's coming. We saw in the promo that she's coming, and I cannot wait to see Dahlia come back. It's gonna be awesome to watch. I can't wait to see how they handle it. I can't wait to see what they do when Dahlia comes back. It's gonna be awesome to see, and I just can't wait to see what ends up happening now that Dahlia is back. It's gonna be awesome. Definitely, I can't wait for it. Let's talk about Hayley and Gia. How are they going to be? I really like this friendship. I think they should be friends. We'll see what happens. I don't know if they're going to be friends. I'm thinking that maybe they could start a friendship. I'm really not sure, though. We'll see what ends up happening there between them. But I think personally, I think they could possibly start a friendship. I love Marcel and Rebekah. I think they're definitely getting together. Rebekah, I don't know if Rebekah's ever going back to her original body. I really don't. I mean, after what she said to Klaus, I don't know if she'll ever return to her original body. We'll see what happens. That's going to be really interesting to see as well. But this episode, as usual, amazing. Loved it. Not too much to say about this episode because most of it focused on Eva, and I just didn't have as much to say about it. Sorry, this review is not as long as it usually is. My reviews for the originals are usually almost like 30 minutes long, but I just didn't have as much to say in this episode. Sorry, guys, but that's in my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Overall, as usual, amazing episode, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for tonight's episode of Bates Motel. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.